And I want to welcome everyone from the Monday night meditation group that is weekly and at 7:30. And thank you for joining together, and also everyone who's coming from our monthly meditation that we've dedicated ourselves to, all of us, to do together for the sake of improving our sadhana and increasing world peace, love, and mutual understanding. So thank you very, very much for coming together tonight. Roseanne is here for the people that have not experienced her at 7:30 on Mondays. So my better half. And as well, Roseanne has to bow out at 8:30 because her Psi Center SSE coordinator asked for a teacher's meeting tonight at 8:30. So Roseanne's going to explain what that is for a moment for those of you that don't know.
Yes, Saira. And well, for anyone who isn't a Sai Baba person, SSE is Sai Spiritual Education. And so what it is the taking the universal essence of all religions, the universal human values, and teaching them. I've been teaching them to teenagers and preteens for, I don't know, almost 20 years or 20 years. So that would be truth, peace, right action, love, and nonviolence. And every religion has some teaching on that, and they all agree that that's a basis of acting and being in the world. So it's the essence of all religions, or no religion, but everyone wants to do good. So that's what we talk about with the kids. So anyway, I have a few minutes.
Can everybody hear us okay, or does the volume need to be boosted? It's good?
Good. It's good, brother.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. I'm just going to check one thing. All right. And, oh, there we go. Okay. I maximized it now. Thank you very much.
All right. So excuse me for, I'm going to have to leave about in 20 minutes.
Swami arranged that conflict.
Not a conflict. I guess he thought people should know what SSE is.
Tonight we'd like to talk about something very important. It's really important. In our sadhana, many of you have done spiritual practices for decades, maybe even more than that. And, you know, from past lives and all those things, we get to this point in this life where we come together and meditate on the absolute and God in form, as Krishna or Sai Baba or Jesus or whatever form you choose. So form and formless. And what is the process of sadhana? And why do we do it, number one? And when do we know how to move on to the next level of sadhana? How do we know this? So it's really important to realize that sadhana, spiritual practices, that's what sadhana means, is a ladder. And it's a ladder to the absolute. The absolute is beyond name, beyond form, and the awareness that we were never born and we will never die. And we are one with the absolute, Sat Chit Ananda, truth, awareness, or consciousness and bliss. And we are that which we seek to know as God. We are that. We're raindrops having evaporated from the ocean of God and individualized as human beings, finally. And then we try to understand that the raindrop is still the ocean in individual form, and that it merges back with the ocean. And when we do gather together that awareness, or affirm that awareness and live in that awareness increasingly day by day, then we realize we're the ocean, and we never really were a raindrop. And it was just a matter of time and space that made that delusion. So that's sadhana. So, in a nutshell. However, what's the most important part of sadhana or spiritual practices is going to the next level, going to the next rung on the ladder, going to the next rung on the ladder. And if we are doing spiritual practices, and we've done them for decades the same way and stuck to a ritualized routine, we're not going to the next rung on the ladder. So there are spiritual practices that are fun and enjoyable, like saying mantras 108 times, Om Bhurva Suvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat, for instance. And Swami has said that mantra, Gayatri mantra, affirms life on earth and protects us as human beings. So, for instance, once when one of the planes that some devotees, Western devotees, were on, went down. It was a TWA flight, I believe, and it went down, and one devotee perished. And Swami said, if only one devotee or one person had said that mantra before it went down, it wouldn't have gone down. But everybody forgot, and the devotees, actually the two devotees that went, I think it was a Canadian flight actually, but in any event, Swami said those two devotees that went down, they had been praying for liberation and they didn't want to live on earth anymore. They said, we're finished, let us go. But okay, that's fine. Swami says all sorts of things, but the fact of the matter is, it just makes people feel comfortable most of the time. He only knows the truth.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that if we're just doing a ritualized practice day after day, year after year, the same thing, we're not practicing our sadhana in a way that will advance us. And all spiritual teachers who are in the absolute, meaning fully enlightened, one with Brahma, one with the absolute. And there's a lot of phonies out there, believe me. And if they charge money, they're a phony. I'm sorry. If they collect money, just think about this. A guru, a sadguru, means one with the absolute, true guru, like Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna, Yogananda, Sai Baba, and others. If they are one with the absolute, then they have the infinite abundance of the universe. What do they need to collect money from people for? Of course, you can contribute from your heart, but they would never ask for it. Like Yogi Ram Surakumar, who Swami sent to us to on occasion, Roseanne and I, said he wouldn't take money. If I brought money to him, because we collected money, he had certain householder types of needs. He was living in the house, he has to have food. And we felt he gave us hours and hours and hours and hours of attention, believe me. Like we're talking a couple of days, 12 hours a day, even more sometimes. And personally, he answered all my personal questions that I would be too embarrassed to ask Swami, about, and I would never have the opportunity. So I did have the opportunity, so did Roseanne. And like a dozen of us were there visiting in Tiruvannamalai, and I collected the money, and said, let's give him some money. So I brought the money over to Yogi Ram Surakumar, and the first thing he says is, what's this? And I said, we collected some donation to give you. He said, you have ruined the work of this beggar. You have ruined this work. This is dirt, this is filth. You have ruined this beggar's work. And he went on like that, yelling at me. And then I started walking away. He says, where are you going? And I turned around, and then he said, I will have to make adjustments. And he went like this. He shifted the energies. He did this. He did that. I guess he figured out where he could give this money to others. And then he said, okay. And then I handed him the money. But wow, that's so different than a guru who says, the retreat is $100 this weekend. Not just for accommodation like hotel cost or electricity, but personally to get the money. I'm going to use this money, that type of guru. Or the retreat is $1,008. Oh, why? Oh, because I have to make a living, this is a phony teacher. This is not real. So sadhana,
Or just someone who hasn't come to the place where they trust God implicitly and totally surrendered to God's will.
once Hilda Charlton, who was the first Westerner to live at Swami's back in 1964-65. I think Indira Gandhi, from South America, Argentina, had maybe met Swami before her, but I'm not quite sure. But Hilda was the first one.
Indra Devi.
Indra Devi, that's it. But but Hilda was like living at Swami's. He was invited Hilda to live in
travel with him
and live in the Brindavan bungalow when it was a bungalow, and had a room next to Kasturi, and they were best friends in the earlier days of the time. And Swami asked Hilda, "How are you for money, Hilda?" And Hilda replied, "I have the infinite abundance of the universe, Swami." And he went, "Oh, okay." And then he went like this. And he made 108 rupees. And he said, "You have the infinite abundance of the universe, Hilda. Have this. And always keep one in your purse. Don't spend them all. Keep 1 rupee always in your purse," he said. She never had a problem with money thereafter. She never asked for money. I lived in her house by Swami's grace. Swami, blessed me to do that and be her driver. And I had to force her to take the rent. I was like, "What?" I said, "Hilda, I have to give you rent." "Oh, how much are you going to give me?" I said, "How about $100?" She said, "No, that's way, way too much." No. I said, "Hilda, if I were to live in the city and have to pay rent, it would be $1,000. So I'm getting a break. You could take $100. She said, "Okay, I'll give it to somebody." So she gave whatever she did. She gave a lot of money to people that were poor. But this is the way that the Sadgurus relate to the world. Now, for us, we're, in mortal forms, and we're not aware of the oneness of the absolute fully and completely. So we have to sometimes manage as householders. But as householders, we don't have to get stuck on doing 108 mantras every morning, the same way, the same. Without love, it's useless. Rust and dust, Swami says. Without love. But also, sometimes you have to let the bhajan go and go into the essence of the bhajan. Sometimes while doing bhajan, Guru Deva Sharanam Deva Pai Prabho Sharanam Deva. You have to feel the bhajan. You have to be the bhajan. And sometimes to be the bhajan, for instance, we always sing in bhajans inside Baba groups. You have to sometimes close your eyes and not sing for a moment. Not reply, just feel it. And don't sing until you feel it, then sing. From the feeling of that oneness of love, that heart-opened essence. So like this, all of our sadhana has to have an elevated, heart-opened essence. And then, of course, Swami says this, don't be an idol worshiper forever. It's going beyond name and going beyond form. It's wonderful to worship an idol. You can feed an idol, you can dress an idol, you can wash an idol, you can, it's beautiful. God in the form of Ganesha, or God in the form of Krishna, God in the form of Skanda. Beautiful, fantastic. But go beyond. What is the form? The form contains the essence. The essence is the oneness of love, God. So think about that in terms of your own personal sadhana and how you can take it to the next level. And never, when you get on a level, and don't be in status quo resistance spiritually. Status quo resistance is a term, psychoanalytic term. It's like keeping it the same, like security. I know what I'm doing. And you're afraid, and we're afraid to go into the unknown. And the unknown is beyond mind. The unknown is beyond thought. So Roseanne has something wonderful to read from Swami Abhidayananda of Ramana Maharshi's ashram.
Ramana Maharshi's is in Tiruvannamalai, an Arunachala mountain. And Ramana Maharshi was a great saint, and his main teaching was to ask, "Who am I?" And that would be what you would do as your sadhana. You say, "Who am I?" And you go in and find, I am God, but you have to experience it. And so Ramana Maharshi passed on in 1950, and he had many devotees, and some of them, like Yogi Ram Sarakumar, were liberated, but many of them weren't. And a beautiful thing is one of Ramana Maharshi's nephews, a couple of them took on the work of running the ashram, but they found all the old devotees of Ramana Maharshi and took care of them until they passed on, because they were just, many of them were just sadhus who begged, and they had nothing. They were just in terrible shape. And so tremendous amount of love at that ashram. It's just beautiful place. And so this is a story of their relationship, one of them with Sai Baba. So it is said, when the disciple is ready, the master appears. When a long-time sadhaka at revered Ramana Maharshi's feet, Swami Abhedananda was caught in a spiritual tangle, unable to bail himself out of, quote, confusion, unquote. He prayed to Bhagavan Sai Baba in a letter to Professor Kasturi. That was very close devotee of Sai Baba's, seeking guidance. And he responded, Swami Abhedananda resided at Ramana Ashram in Tiruvannamalai. Al and I have been there. It's just a spectacularly spiritual place.
We're going there.
We're going there next week.
Next week. We'll think of it. I was sitting there.
He was sleeping in his room, or rather, trying to sleep. A problem was disturbing him. He had read the life of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba titled Satyam Shivam Sundaram, written by Professor Kasturi. He felt, as he was poring through the pages of that book, that the guru who was to guide him out of the tangle of doubt into which he had led himself during 25 years of sadhana was here at Puttaparthi. He had written a letter to Sri Kasturi asking him to present his plight to Baba and to send him his reply. The hours ticked by, and he slept. The night was almost over when Swami Abhedananda was awakened by a blow to his head. Who could it be? The door was bolted and he was alone in the room. He rose and switched on the light. There was no one, but the blow was real, rather hard. He sat upon his bed, half dazed. Then he saw a pillar of light in front of him, and from out of that light emerged the figure of Ramana Maharshi and Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, the same form which he had seen in the book. Ramana Maharshi disappeared soon, and Baba followed, leaving just the light. And from the light, he heard a voice, clear and sweet. I have come to tell you how you are to get out of the tangle of your sadhana. You are attaching too much importance to the mind and its vagaries. Don't pay any attention to it. Refuse to follow its whims. Do not even meditate. Try to make the mind empty. That is the way to put it out of action. The Swami felt that this was the advice he had been waiting for. He wrote a letter then and there to Kasturi that Baba had come to him and solved his problem, that Baba had become his guru. Nevertheless, when he received a letter from Puttaparthi that he could go over and see Baba, He left immediately, and when he reached the place and Baba welcomed him with a smile, he knew that he had been accepted as a disciple. When later Baba gave him the same advice in person, he recognized the voice as Baba's own. So the mind is the slayer of the real, as the saying goes. And we sit and meditate, but we have so many problems and they come in on us. And to find beyond the mind is really wonderful. And you can go beyond the mind and then it comes back in. And then it goes away, and then it comes back in the permanent going away of the mind, which is possible. It seems impossible, but it is actually what our goal is, not to have a mind. And that is what we're doing here.
Spiritually. So Swami says a diamond is a very precious stone, but a mind is the greatest treasure in the universe. And a lot of devotees think, oh, how can you stop thinking? That's impossible. We've been trained to think. Well, Arjuna stopped. You know, it's like the wind, he said, when Krishna told him about the mind and controlling the mind. He said, it's like the wind, how can you control it? And Krishna said, just focus your mind on me. Dedicate everything to me. I'll take care of it. And that's what we do. We dedicate the mind and the ego and the thoughts and the feelings to God. We place them at God's feet or formless in the absolute and say, you do it. You know, and then it happens. Every night when we go to bed, we go beyond mind. Every single night. We go to sleep. We go beyond mind. You can't go to sleep thinking. So we go beyond mind. So we're letting go then. The difficulty is letting go during the day. That's the difficulty. And then 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night, we are beyond mind, beyond thoughts, beyond the body, beyond everything. We're in deep sleep where there's only oneness, but we're not aware of it. So we have to make that oneness conscious. It's possible, even this moment, to just and if you hold your breath, the mind stops. That's why pranayama is so important. So the mind goes with the breath, but if you hold your breath, relaxed way of doing it, the mind stops just for a moment. And that gap between thoughts gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's the real you in that gap. The real us is in that gap. So, thank you.
I have to leave. One really wonderful thing of being with real spiritual teachers is when you're with them, you try especially hard not to think, and it works, and they help you not to think. And it's just, sitting on Darshan line with Sai Baba, and just sitting there and not thinking, oh, just take my letter. In the beginning, I would say, I take my letter, give me an interview, blah, blah, blah. And by the end, I was like, just sit there and just love. And that's what he taught. Oh, Sairam, and God bless everyone.
See, Roseanne gets up and all there's left is Sai Baba. So, any questions? Anybody want to have a question? Feel free to open the mic and ask away if you do. We'll have a chance to share or ask questions at the end before we meditate. I just want to say one thing. One of the ways that the yogis and the sadhus and sannyasis, they meditate in India by thinking, this is my last moment on earth. This is my last day on earth. This is it. And they often do that in cemeteries at night. A lot of people, Mana Maharshi and Ramakrishna, they urged people to do that, especially Ramakrishna. And they would meditate in cemeteries just to be reminded that all life is impermanent and you never know when you're going to be called back into the realm of the heavens and beyond. So I like the idea of going beyond the heavens. Heavens are still created delusions. So then think this, if I would, not that you're going to pass, you know, nobody can pass before God wants that. It's impossible. God's in charge. You're never going to think, oh, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, and then you die. I mean, I know a lot of people that want to die this moment. They're not dying at all. They're just suffering because they want to die and they can't get through the day. Because they're suffering, you know, so much, but part of the suffering is because they believe they're the body mind and they don't know about much of anything else, but or they don't want to know about much of anything else, or they just want to have what they want when they want it, and that, you know, that type of thing. You're going to suffer. We're going to suffer. If we want what we want when we want it, and we want it now, oh my God, that's a formula for suffering. And if you don't take the advice of somebody who is, you know, a fully realized being like Sai Baba or a Hilda or Hilda Charlton or Yogi Ram Surakumar or many other forms of Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna, we can go on and on and on. If you don't take their advice and you want to find out yourself, oh, nature is going to be your teacher, is going to be your teacher, and nature is a very harsh teacher. So we got the opportunity to follow the teachings of Sai Baba: love all, serve all, hurt never, help ever, hurt never. If we don't want to do that, oh boy, then he says, okay, Mother Nature, you take it over. And Mother Nature is kind of like Kali. She just loves to destroy everything. So, you know, okay, fine, it's your choice. It's our choice, you know, play the game and finish it. But the fact of the matter is, the yogis think when they're meditating, this is my last day, I'm leaving everything behind. So then what are you going to worry about whether you have what you have for dinner? Or, oh, you know, I have to pick up the mail, or, oh, I have to earn $1,000 today, or I have to pay the bills. Who cares? You're going to die. What the hell? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whatever the mind thinks. Doesn't matter. The mind can think anything. I'm not my mind. That's all you have to think. I'm not going to be my body mind within 24 hours. So what do I have to think about? Nothing. You know, I did that Lakota Sioux thing for a long time. I'm still doing it because the indigenous people out west in the Sioux Nation invited me, the chief, to do ceremonies with him. So he put me on the hill for 3 days without water, without food, sitting on a mat, 8 by 10, and I couldn't move from that mat. You're not allowed to move from that mat. If you want to pee, you can do that, but that's it. And I had to sit there for 3 days doing nothing but watching the insects come and go, the ants crawling, the gnats. In the middle of the night, I had to watch, I don't know, the leaves rustling and wondering if a wolf was going to eat me or a bear. But, you know, but then I said, okay, a wolf eats me, a bear, so what? Who cares? I'll be free. You know, fear is false evidence appearing real. So God's in charge. But in those 3 days, everything dropped away. I didn't think of anything. After a short time, then the magic started. So, you know, that's what they call a vision quest, or, you know, dream quest, or whatever it is. But this is the way we can meditate. So we're going to do that tonight. Okay, just a little preparation. All right, so let's prepare for meditation now. Oh my God, we have 40 people. Welcome, everybody. I wish I knew each and every one of you by name. It's so nice to have you along. And Judy Livingston is here. How nice. So, all right, let's continue with 3 ohms and away we go. Now, I want to let you know, when I lead the meditation, it's not an I leading the meditation because I pray, Bobby, you lead the meditation. God, you lead the meditation. Please, please, please. So hopefully God listens to my request tonight, but you be the judge. All right. Excuse me. I still have a little cough from the virus I had a month ago. Okay, let's go. Close your eyes, keep them closed, back straight, comfortably straight, head comfortably erect. Take about a minute or so and just let the body settle, let the stress go from the body. Let the shoulders droop, let the stomach protrude, let the thighs fall into the floor. But keep the spine comfortably straight so that the spinal energies of spirit can rise from the base of the spine to the top of the head. When you feel ready, take the breath of love through the heart center as if you have a nose in the center of the chest. And breathe in God's love, which is all around us. God is love, love is God. Breathe it in as we sit in this ocean of love. The Bible says, I am always with you, all around you, above you, below you, to the right, to the left, in front of you and back of you. Breathe it in, breathe in that reality. Hold the breath for a moment and let it mix with the love that is within you. And breathe out all the stresses of the day, the week, all the delusions of life. The residual stress is just the trash of experience, it actually. So breathe it out like we breathe out carbon dioxide through the heart center as you breathe out. Let it go. Let's do this for a few minutes. Breathe out all the worry, all the fear, all the grief. Breathe in the love of God, the love that is God. Breathe out all else. Let it go. Excuse me. Breathe in that love, hold it. Breathe out everything else. Let it go. Through the heart center. Let's open those hearts. Heart is the passageway to God within. Keep letting go until you feel like, okay, I got this. Now I can be love. I can breathe love in and I can breathe holding it, be the love, and then breathe out the love to all beings. When you get to that feeling that you can do that, then switch over. Breathe God's love in, hold it, mix that love within the temple of the body mind. Then breathe it out to all beings, great and small, all human beings, all animal beings, all insect beings, all plant beings, all angel beings, all the devas, all beings. All is God. God is all. Breathe out to all the world. Make sure your mic is muted. Breathe out to all the world. All the universe. And whoever comes to mind, especially see them in the light of love. That means they have a need. They're coming to your mind because they have a need. God is letting them in that way be prayed for. The mind wanders and you notice, never mind the mind, just gently, easily, effortlessly bring it back without criticism or judgment of the mind wandering. Perseverance furthers, patience, perseverance, persistence. Perseverance furthers. Took me 50 years to get my mind under control. more light, more love. The mind will come in like clouds in the sky, but you're not the clouds, you're the sky. Ever present, eternal, unmoved by clouds that pass through. Thoughts and feelings are just clouds passing through the sky of consciousness. You are the sky of consciousness, not the clouds, not the thoughts, not the feelings, not the body. Let the body mind go. Level. When you feel ready, let there be a light of love in the heart, like the sun, like a miniature sun at first that grows into a full sun. Let the mind dwell on Om, leave the breath behind. When the mind wanders, just bring it back comfortably, easily, gently. No criticism or judgment needed for its wandering. And continue from there. The mind dwell on Om. You can visualize the light of love as a great love, light, fire, or sun in your heart center, beaming out to everyone. Our meditations are really not for ourselves. We're already liberated. Just don't know it yet, but you are. Meditating for all humanity to come into their oneness of love, bring peace on earth. Maybe we're helping Krishna with that mountain. We're thinking, but it's really only Krishna doing it all. Love all, serve all. That's why we meditate. Come clearer. Om in the mind, love in the heart, sunlight of God. Just visualize it. You don't have to feel something like fireworks or anything like that. It's a very subtle thing that happens inside. Just let the mind go. Now ask God to be the one that meditates inside. God is the one that does all. It just seems like we're doing something, but that's ego. So tell God, say to God, ask God, God, you meditate within me. You find the oneness of love within me. You show me the way. You do it. You meditate within me. Really mean it. becomes much easier. Let God within you meditate. Let the mind dwell on Om. And just have the attitude, this is my last 24 hours on earth. I'm letting go of everything about earth. I'm about to come face to face with God and my own destiny of love, the oneness of love, finally. Just think like that, like a yogi would, like the sadhus do, just for this moment. Let go of the world. No need for it. Not now. Let go of it. Let go of the attachments, the desires, the worries, the despair. Let it go. Give it to God and come into His love, her love. God's arms are waiting for you. Home. Keep letting go into the Om. Swami says, yogis live in the Om. Keep letting go. Om is the foundation of the mind. Letting go into the Om. Love in the heart. If you'd like, invite the form of God you adore into the heart space to help you. Seat in that heart. Ankara. Embodiment of love that you adore in the heart, helping you to the absolute. Beyond name, beyond form. And let that love in your heart travel through the empty temple of the body, like an empty glass, filling up with water, from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. Let every cell, every atom, every molecule, every pranic level, every moment of you be drenched in this love. Fill up the tips of the toes to the top of the head with the light of love, through the power of Om in the mind. Om, I am. I am I, nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. I am I. That's our real name. One I within all being. Let everything else go. Om. Today, I meet God face to face and leave this body mind behind. No need for fear. We were never born and we will never die. It's in the song, love is my form. No birth, no death. We were never born and we will never die. That's the truth of life. So fill up with that truth of love through the torso, the shoulders, the arms, the neck, and into the head. At your own pace. No rush. Let everything else go. Into the neck, into the head, back of the neck, back of the head. Through the pineal gland and pituitary gland, through the entire brain, suffused with the light of love, through the power of Om, the mind, to the forehead. There be light. Keep letting go into that. Letting go of the mind, no matter how hard it might seem. One day, everyone conquers the mind. Step by step, we climb to Mount Everest's peak. Conquerors of the mind, all. Imagine that in the forehead is a sun at dawn, brightly shining forth within that third eye. The whole temple filled with light and love. And then watch that sun at dawn rise in the forehead at high noon at the top of the head. An image we've held in our minds for millions of years. Watch it rise to the top of the head at high noon. And when you get there, the whole temple, mind, body automatically turns into light. No need for effort. When you just get to the top of the head with the Om and the light of the sun at high noon, you can see it there. That's enough. Imagination is enough. Visualize it. Imagine it. Empower it with Om. Don't give up. The whole temple, mind, body automatically becomes the truth of love. Every cell bathed in it, the immune system maximized. Perfection of Christ within it. Christ within every being is the light of love. Om. Breathe through the top of the head. The light of love through the power of Om in the mind. Take you there. Sun at high noon. For those that have just begun to meditate, don't force it. Just stay where you feel most comfortable, wherever that may be. If it's just breathing love in and out through the heart center, let it be that. No problem. Did that for years. Just that. Don't ever force meditation. Rest where it feels most comfortable. I am that I am. Light of love within all being. Let that reality come to you. Wear that crown of love at the top of the head if you like. Don't think you can't do it, because that is the real you. Being of light, being of love, embodiments of the divine. Om. Today we meet God face to face. This body, mind, time is over. I am that I am. And if you'd like, open up the gates of heaven at the top of the head. Let the light shine forth. No need to keep it under a bushel. Let it shine forth. No need to keep it within the physical bounds of a body-mind. There's no space and no time within God's love. That's who we are. Let it overflow like a fountain. Let it shine through the transparent boundaries of the body-mind into the room you're in, like the sun shining into the community you're in, to the world. We are beings of love, fulfilling our destiny. Om. Keep letting go. Don't be satisfied with something like an experience. Experiences are nice, but we're not our experiences. Not our thoughts, our feelings. We're not our past. We're not our future. We're the moment of now. All is God. That's all there is here. Om. Let go. Let God. Sai Baba. Sai Krishna. Sai Shiva. Prema Sai. Om. Keep letting go into that. The power of Om, the power of love. The whole world and all beings in it, see them at peace in the light of love. Golden globe of love, this earth becomes. Om. Ask the one Lord God Almighty in the absolute in form. Consume this ego in the fire of love, Lord. I offer this ego and everything about it. I offer this doership and the sense of individuality into the fire of love. This ego, let it dissolve. No need for it. This delusion is over. Oh, let it be. Don't think, oh, that's only for another lifetime. Don't think like that. Swami says that it can happen at any moment, and it can happen in this life with the intensity of love and determination to know the truth that will set us free, will set you free. Be in that. Don't just, oh, I'm Om. Think, Om, I am the power of love and body. All is God. God is in me. God is the doer. God is with me. God is in me. I am God. I am God. I am not different from God. I am the indivisible, supreme, absolute, Satchitananda, truth, awareness, consciousness, bliss. Om. Now the whole universe, fill it with light. Just as the universe is the body of God, so it is with you. We are in the universe. Our body is the universe. In reality, our body is the universe. We are one with God. Our body is the universe through the power of Om, power of love. Surrender to that. Let it go. Om. My last day on earth. I meet God face to face. Om. Keep letting go. The mind will want to interfere by taking back desires, taking back attachments. We are not the mind. The mind is only a cloud that covers the sun. You are the sun. You are the spirit. You are the spirit of love. You are God embodied. We are that. Firm the reality. Let the rust and dust disappear. Oh, by the grace of God. Form of formless. If you love Jesus, call on him. If you love Krishna, call on him. If you love Sai Baba, call on him. If you love God in any form, call on that. Help me into the formless, O Lord. This boat arrives at the distant shore. Keep letting go into that. And for those of you who want to take another step in deep, to the deep side, we were never born and we will never die. All of creation was born and will die, but we are never born and we never die. We are that. Before the Big Bang, we are that. Before the Om, the word that was with God, we are that. We are that. Before all of creation, we are that. I am that. Hum Brahmasmi. Om Tat Sat Om. Let everything else go. Let all the karma be erased by the grace of God. It's only the karmas of the past that kick us out of the reality of the absolute in the present. Offer them to God. Any moment, the grace can completely dissolve the mountain of karma. Any one moment. All there is God, oneness, love. Believe in yourself. I am that I am. I was never born and I will never die. Source of all. I am that I am. Don't give up. Keep on digging deeper. Dig deeper. Swami told us once, dig deeper. We were never born and we will never die. As Krishna said to Arjuna, you were never born and you will never die. Expand into the infinite absolute. Behind the mind is awareness. Behind the mind is the witness that is consciousness and the source of consciousness. Behind the mind is everything. I am that I am. When the mind reappears, just come back to home. Lock on to home. Let everything dissolve into home that is in the mind. Then know you are the absolute, never born, never dying. Before the Big Bang, before all creation, you are that. You always have been, always will be, and never shall be now. Just a few more minutes. Hold on. Dig deeper. Let the mind go. I am not the mind. I have never been the mind. I will never be the mind ever again. This mind is left behind. I'm not the ego. I have never been the ego. I have never been a separate individual. I have never been anything but the ocean of love. This ego dissolves in a fire of love. Om. Om. The Om takes us home. All yogis past, yogis present, one with God, future. Be that now, why wait? Why delay? Yogis on the shores of the Ganges, the Himalayan mountaintops, and in the deepest jungles on this earth. If you're with Swami, have already conquered most of everything about this earth. Selfless servants of love. Be that now, the truth that sets us free. Why wait another life? Why wait? We were never born and we will never die. Believe in yourself. You can do it. You can know that God is the only doer. Believe. Self-satisfaction comes from self-confidence. Self-confidence. Doing the right thing. Self-satisfaction. Even if you fall, pick yourself up. We all fall. We're human beings. We march on under the cross of earthly life and self-realization. So now feel where your consciousness is. Rest, just be for a few moments. Just be. Working hard, just be. A couple of rungs of sadhana, up the ladder of love. Just be. Rest. Notice where your consciousness is. Worked hard tonight. And breathe that awareness, that consciousness into the temple, body, mind. Breathe it into the heart center. Altar in the temple, not into the mind. No need for mind. Mind is just a liar. That's all it really is. Everybody's mind just hides the truth. That's what liars do. So don't pay attention to the mind. Follow the heart. Within you, Swami, God, as your conscience will tell you exactly what is needed, exactly what to do. Will solve the knottiest problems if you just ask. We'll get into that next time. believe in yourself. Breathe this love back into the heart center. Coming back down now to the temple. Take your time. God is with you, in you, all around. The Swami says, God protects us like the eyelids protect the eyes. Just follow the teachings the best you can. Leave the rest to God, Father, Mother of us all. Om. God loves each and every one of us infinitely. God never abandons anyone. Right to the end. He waits, she waits until we merge. Never abandoned, once seen, once accepting. The Sadguru, if it be Baba, so be it. If it be Jesus or Mary or Yogananda or Sri Aurobindo or Ramakrishna or Rana Maharshi, whoever it may be, never abandon us. Right to the end. Take us home, no matter what. So breathe that love in to the heart center, coming down in. As we own for peace in this world, that's, you can own in your place, or you can own in your mind, or you can just feel the peace. Let there be love, let there be light, let there be peace on earth. Let all people's good dreams come true. May all their desires be met. May all their attachments dissolve in the light of love, and may everyone be in God's oneness. There be peace on earth, the golden age of God. Let it come upon us by the grace of God. See the world as a golden globe of love, and all beings in it as golden light beings, the truth of who they really are. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take this one for yourselves. May you have all your dreams come true. Prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. Perfect health, happiness. God's love be with you throughout the day and the night. And all your loved ones too. See their needs met. See their dreams come true. See their perfect health and happiness. Oh. Thank you, God. Father, Mother of us all, God is the only doer. God is the only healer. We ask in your name. thy will be done. Take a good 3 minutes before opening the eyes. For those of you that know alternate breath pranayama to help you come back into the body, that's a good thing to be doing. Next class, I'll share with everybody Swami's pranayama that he teaches to go into meditation and also to come out. Coming down in, coming down in. Take your time. If you don't want to come in, that's okay too. But it's late. And the body mind needs sleep. You feel ready, if you're comfortable, and if you can open your eyes. We open our eyes and all we see is God. That's all there is. So anybody like to share anything that they experienced in meditation, or share a question, or share whatever they would like to? You can open the mic if you like.
Sarah,
Hi, Raul.
that was beautiful. I was so happy. I saw the WhatsApp a little late and I came into it a little late. You were in the meditation. I got in at about 8:40. And boy, was I didn't know what was going on because you were silent. And I thought, oh, maybe the screen is frozen or it's over. And then you started talking. And I was like, oh, good, it's still going on. And that was just a beautiful meditation. I don't usually enjoy meditations unless I'm by myself, but this was just fantastic. Thank you so much. You do this every week, did you say?
I have a group at 7:30 to 8:30 every week.
Oh,
And
okay.
if you're welcome to join it, it's fine. It's universal and it's based in Swami's teachings. And you're
Yes.
welcome to join on Monday nights. I am going to India on Thursday with Roseanne, so we won't be back until February 20th. So,
Okay.
but through Sai Prasanna, you can get the link. I'll send Sai Prasanna the link and ask Sai Prasanna if you would like to have the link. She'll share it, if that's all right.
Thank you.
Ramesh, is that okay with that? Ramesh is the president.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. All are welcome to this group. Absolutely.
Oh, welcome. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was a wonderful session. I think I was transported somewhere. I guess I probably half of it I didn't hear what you were saying.
That's wonderful. See, go beyond the. That's wonderful. That's the absolute. If you can't hear what I'm saying, that's the absolute. That's the way to do it. Yeah, my words are just like training wheels. They just get you going into the next thing. But that's a good thing. I would close my eyes when Hilda would lead a meditation sometimes, and even Swami occasionally, and I would just disappear. I mean, I didn't know what they said. This is wonderful. Good. Thank you. And thank you for sponsoring this group for me. I really.
I have a question. When you
Yes.
were saying Om, I heard a reverberation or like an echo towards the end of when you stop saying Om. Is there something that's doing that? Or is there something in my mind?
Om reverberates in all sound and all thoughts and all feelings. If you're hearing an echo, it's the echo of your own inner self. Unless the Zoom is doing it, but that could be. If somebody has their mic open.
Anybody else hearing that, or is just me?
Who
I
is,
did. Thank you.
who is that? Introduce yourself when you talk so that we all
My
know.
name is my name is Meena.
need it.
Yeah. So I heard that 2 times I heard. First time and second time. Yeah. Very end. Yeah. Thank you.
So in meditation, the sun could rise and you could see it and wow. And then all of a sudden, something beyond that happens. So all these experiences that we have, visions, we have echoes, we have homes, we have all sorts of things, lights, we have, Shiva and Parvati and the gods and goddesses could appear, and then Gabriel and the Michael, the archangels could appear. My attitude is, thank you very much. You are but waves of the ocean. I want the ocean. Go beyond all creation into the oneness of the creator. That's my attitude. So you adopt what you feel comfortable with. My attitude is, that's very nice. Thank you very much. I want the oneness of the absolute only.
Thank you.
Let me go beyond all that, because I've met thousands of aspirants. I mean, I probably know like 10,000, 20,000 spiritual aspirants. And Swami says only a handful make it because they get caught on these different things that happen inside themselves. But this time around, he said, I'm coming on a jet plane. I'm taking everybody with me.
I heard feedback.
Feedback. Thank you all very, very much for joining together.
This is Nalini again. I have a question again.
Yes.
Did Baba really say that we should do pranayama? Because I haven't heard that, or I haven't read in any of his discourses where he recommended that one should do pranayama.
So pranayama is a very simple pranayama. It's not like heavy pranayama. It's just breathing up the left and out the right. And that calms the mind before meditation, and Swami recommended it. And he never mentioned it after the 70s. He said it in the 70s.
Well, he said it to you personally?
He said it to Dr. Hislop, and Dr. Hislop sent it out.
I see. Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's been a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining together, and I hope to see you again sometime.
You have a wonderful trip and enjoy your trip, Al. And
Thank you very much. We'll be at Prashanti Nilayam for about a week, and we'll be in Tiruvannamalai for about 5 days or so. And then after that, we're going to Paris to eat and sleep.
Have a wonderful trip.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Travel safe.
Thank
We'll
you.
miss you.
Sai Prasanna, thank you. Sai Prasanna, do you want to end with a prayer?
Sure, sure. Yeah, let's end with a prayer. And thank you all for joining. The next session will be in the last Monday of February. That's when you can join. And if you need to join our meditation group, I put the meditation WhatsApp group link in the chat. So please click on that and you can join the group. Okay, thank you so much. It was a beautiful session, brother. Have a safe trip.
Thank you. Wish you a safe trip, Saira.
Have a safe trip. Looks like you're going to do yoga and bhoga.
Well, Boga, I love chocolate mousse. I can't deny it.
I see.
And Paris has the best chocolate mousse in the world. Well, actually, Lucia does. Lucia in France had the best. Where Saint Teresa was. Sai Prasanna, end with a prayer, like some prayer.
Sure, I'll do that.
That's right.
Om Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you. Bye.
Sai Ram.
Right on.